Hey everybody, welcome to Let's Look at Super House of Dead Ninjas. Beyond being just the greatest title for a game that I've seen in a long time, this is actually a really cool platformer with roguelike elements, and I know people always get bent out of shape when I say roguelike elements. Maybe it's not true roguelike elements, but there are some elements of random generation, shall we say. Anyway, we're just gonna get started here. This just came out on Steam. It is from Adult Swim Games, so I believe there is a free version available on the Adult Swim website, but I am reviewing the $5 version, which is a fairly meager price point for a game like this, that just came out on Steam yesterday. At least at the time of this recording. So, this game is basically, you could think of it like opposite Tower Climb mixed with, I don't know, a beat-em-up, or you could think of it as like a more action-packed Spelunky, if you will, maybe mixed with something like Mark of the Ninja, but not stealthy, just the combat side. We have a selection of weapons that we can take here. We are playing as this ninja, you can see in the bottom left. We can take, our katana, we can take nunchucks. I'm going to take the ruby nunchucks of mild discomfort, because they can actually deflect projectiles away. And there's other things we can unlock as well, but we haven't gotten any of those yet. Now, we can also take projectiles, like shurikens that always behead people, axes straight out of Castlevania, there's magic we can take, etc., etc. But why don't we just jump into a game so I can actually explain how some of this stuff works, as opposed to, demonstrate how some of this stuff works, I guess, instead of just explaining it. So, this is the interface for Super House of the Dead Ninja. 1 second. Our main goal here, I forgot I had a different projectile than the shurikens, which makes things a little harder. We have basically two major antagonists here. One of those is the clock. Oh, that was terrible. One of those is the clock, which you can see in the bottom right corner. Sorry, I'm just paying attention here. There is a little bit of slowdown. I'm not sure if it's intentional slowdown or if it's like a performance issue with the game, because, even if my computer was terrible, you wouldn't expect this game to have too much in the way of performance issues. But it's totally possible it's just like a, retro Mega Man style slowdown that is like, check out how badass what you just did was. But our other antagonists, of course, are the actual enemies that we're coming across here. So I'm just using the keyboard here. You can use a controller, but you have to use joy to keys, so there's no built-in controller support, which is kind of disappointing. In terms of my abilities, you've already seen some of them. By using Z, I do my melee attack. Also picking up projectiles that increase our time limit here a little bit. Just waiting for that. Then we're going to jump in like so. And our main goal is just to get to the end of the level, but beyond that, ooh, that was kind of close. We also have a projectile, which I used with X there, and the cool thing about the axe is that you can actually use it to hit enemies that are on a lower level as well, which is unique among projectiles, I believe. And collecting these letters, I don't think does anything for us. Now, in terms of our survival, that's based on our number of lives, and our number of lives is indicated by those kind of marks you see in the very top middle of the screen. But we're just going to continue downwards here. Basically, again, think of this kind of like a Spelunky light, if you will. I mean, it's not so much about exploration, and it's not nearly as punishing, at least so far. But it does have that same kind of vibe. It's at least easiest to describe, I think, as some kind of analog to Spelunky. But also with a lot of love letters to retro gaming, particularly the Super Nintendo era. I mean, even going as superficial as that Castlevania reference with the axes, you can see that this is a love letter to earlier games. So we're just going to make our way down here. I think when we get down to floor 250... By the way, these floors are all randomly generated, but I think when we get down to floor 250, we'll have a boss fight. So there are... Oh, that was so bad. There are legitimate boss fights in the game. That was actually very close as well. They don't seem exceptionally difficult, at least so far, but I have not beaten the game yet. You start on floor 350, and your goal is to go all the way down to floor 0. But again, like Spelunky, it does have... Oh, it was terrible again. We do have a jump that I should probably be using a little bit more than I am. Like Spelunky, you do have the option to actually... As I kill this guy. Sorry, again, like Spelunky, I lose my focus constantly. But like Spelunky, you have the option to start on later floors once you unlock them. You don't have to do anything silly like bring this dude a key to unlock the Ujad Eye from 100 years ago. Let's just fall down here. Oh, I got killed, unfortunately. These guys are really annoying because they actually take 2 hits. But I'm unlocking a bunch of stuff. I've put in about an hour into this game so far, and just constantly unlocking things. If you actually... It's not a true roguelike by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, we're fighting the boss. We only have 1 life left. So 1 hit left, I guess I should say. This guy's not very difficult, though. I already beat him once. There are multiple bosses you could face, and there's also champions that you can face throughout each run. I totally got screwed there. I mean, screwed is a relative term. I got screwed because I sucked, but we can actually continue. You get 3 continues per life. So again, you know, I was trying to emphasize that it's more of a casual, that was awful, style of game than it might initially appear. That's not to say it's easy, because it's certainly not. But it's not as hardcore or as punishing as Spelunky, I would say. In my hour so far, I've gotten from floor 350 all the way down to the final boss fight. At least I think it's the final boss fight. So things do move pretty quickly, but there is a constant incentive to keep replaying. There we go. Like I said, fairly easy boss fight there. Let's grab all of these upgrades and then continue moving on. So I haven't really used a lot of our abilities here, but we're entering the Abyss of Nature, which is the 2nd level. Like I said, these floors are randomly generated, and there's a champion right there. So we're going to try to kill him with an axe, otherwise these guys are pain in the ass to kill. We've unlocked some kind of new magic, I feel. That's probably what that is. I think I can get this just by... Oh, I can't. I have a different kind of magic. Never mind what I just said there. That was terrible damage. In terms of what I like about this game, I think I've done a pretty good job of demonstrating that so far. And it probably didn't even need to be demonstrated. I like the roguelike elements. I like the action platforming, which is very much up my alley. What I do not like is the fact that there's no native PC controls, or sorry, native gamepad controls, and you have to use the PC. Like I said, this is a champion. Oh, God. Let's just throw a bomb down here. That should make things easier. Well, eventually it'll make things easier. If we have some kind of upgrade for that, potentially. Let's just move on. Yeah, this feels like the game that kind of needs gamepad support to be as... Oh, God, that bomb. To be as tight as I would want it to be. I don't know why. Oh, the monkeys are running away because I actually got an item. I think it's called Monkey Bane instead of Monkey Bone, and it actually causes monkeys to run away from us. Otherwise, monkeys and frogs, man. Most annoying enemies in this whole thing. So I'm very lucky in that sense. These bomb dudes can be kind of annoying as well, but we're doing pretty well for ourselves. Don't have to fight everything. Let's just go over here and get this extra timer. Oh, what I was saying before as well is that it's not a true roguelike in the sense that you start at square one every single time. Sometimes you will get upgrades that are kind of persistent. So now, instead of, like, normally timers only gave us up to 30 seconds increased time, now they give me up to, like, 45 seconds increased time with something, due to some random upgrades that I've unlocked over the course of the game that, as far as I know, are persistent. So anyway, we're just going to make our way down here. We're getting into some slightly tougher enemies here. It's not merely a button masher. You do have to time your attacks appropriately on some enemies. Like, watch. Yeah, we got up to 40 seconds there instead of the 30 that's normal. God, these frogs are the worst. Spelunky come back to life. Okay, so the elephant in the room with this, let's look at, and something I encourage you to do independent research on, is how does this differ? You know what, I'm just gonna bomb through here. That was really stupid. I don't even need a bomb. As you can see right there, is how does this $5 version differ from? I thought I had a special attack there. How does this differ from the free version that's available in all likelihood on the Adult Swim website? The answer is I have no effing idea. What I do know, I'm kind of reviewing this game in a vacuum, which, you know, is for better or worse. Oh, God, it's Castle 1 from Super Mario World. What I do know is that I have definitely got more than $5 out of entertainment out of this so far, and I expect that I'm going to get even more entertainment out of it as I progress towards beating it. This is a game that I definitely heartily recommend if you're into, you know, fast-paced games with roguelike elements, which obviously I am, considering that's basically the foundation of my channel at this point. Let's just come up here, and I think I could get this extra trade. We're unlocking tons of stuff. How do I get out of here now is the real question. Maybe a single bomb will do it? Maybe I'll just blow myself up. How do you feel about that, Dad? I'm having some issues here. Maybe magic will do it? Well, magic killed some things, but otherwise I'm trapped in here. Let me out! This is a silly decision on my part. Oh, God. What do we have? Will the axe work? No. I can't double... Oh, you know what I can do? I totally forgot about this. But we have a super jump. So if you just crouch for long enough, and then immediately... Come on. There we go. Okay. So that was terrible, and I definitely should have realized that earlier. God damn it, Scorpion. I definitely should have realized it earlier, but, you know, my apologies. In any case, we still have one continue left, and we're doing pretty solid here, actually. Oh, that was stupid. At the very least, we've unlocked a ton of stuff, which is important. Apparently, you get a bonus if you unlock all of the letters on the left side of the screen. I don't know, I assume it's not the whole alphabet. And I believe we have another boss fight here. This is my last continue, though, so I would expect to die on this guy, who I think is a total pain in the dick. I don't even remember how I beat him the first time. You can only hit him on his back if you want to do damage. I wonder if I can... Famous last words. I wonder if I can... No. Oh, you can jump over him. Oh, you know what I should do? It's just... Oh, that was terrible. I should be doing the power-up jump. Alright, now I understand. I just brute forced him previously. Alright, so this is good that we got a game over. Typically, my runs in the game last, like, 4 to 5 minutes. This one, as you can see, was both my best in terms of kills, my best in terms of overall survival time, and my best in terms of score. It's got the same kind of mechanic as a lot of roguelike games, where you can start from later in the game if you choose, but it's sometimes better to start from the beginning because you get more points and have a chance to get a higher score, and maybe some more upgrades that will increase your survival. Anyway, we unlocked Taming Whip of the Many Nuns. Hits instantly and can be used to pull items towards you. Sure, let's try it out. I've basically been switching into new weapons as soon as I get them. We got new magic. Sends out 3 to 4 whirlwinds, which hone in on and kill any nearby enemies. Sure, why not? See what we've got for upgrades. These are the persistent upgrades I was talking about. So now we have a +1 magic capacity, which is cool, and +10 projectile upgrade, which increases our holding capacity. And we have a new suit that is unlocked right here, the Blue Moon suit. Sure, why not change color a little bit, as well as instant rage, just add anger. Collecting this item instantly sends the player into rage mode, which is the mode where I believe you're invincible. Anyway, we're gonna move on here. Not everything in the game is explicitly stated. We're actually gonna start on the Abyss of Nature this time, just to demonstrate that you can indeed start halfway through the level, or halfway through the game if you so choose. Now, even though the levels are supposedly randomly generated, I just want to see how the whip works, because it's the first time I've ever used it. It's got a cool animation, I'll give it that. Even though it says that... I'll just try to fit a bomb down here. Perfect. Those champions usually give you some kind of extra upgrade beyond just the little consumable I got there. But in any case, what the heck was I saying? We're just gonna wait for this guy to get past, jump over the swamp, land on the money, which... Oh, God, that was close. Which is just extra points. I totally forgot what I was saying, but it's okay. Basically, overall take-home message from this video, at least so far, unless something catastrophic happens, is that I really think this is a very, very fun game. Now you can see the monkeys are going to be a total pain in the dick. I was pleasantly surprised with this. You know, seeing the title, it tickled my funny bone, but it was also like, well, you know, is this one of those things that's going to sound cool but not be cool? No, it's totally cool, and, you know, big ups to Megadeth Studio for actually delivering on this kind of promise. I mean, I didn't play the freeware version. As I understand it, the freeware version was somewhat beloved. By the way, those ghosts are just like, alternately, they're either tutorials or they say, like, I died here, killed by something. Kind of like a ghost in Dark Souls. Well, I guess that's more of a replay style system, but you get what I mean. Now, how do I want to do this? We do have a wall jump, in case you haven't noticed it earlier. I apologize. We have to do this right. I apologize, by the way, if you guys are hearing my keyboard. I got a quieter keyboard recently, but this unfortunately came with a smaller cord, which means I can't put the keyboard on my lap, which means that it has to, god damn it, sit out on the desk while I do it. But I think it's quieter, so I'm hoping that it's a little bit better. Wow, that was a very terrible run. Why am I talking about my keyboard when I should be talking about Super House of the Dead Ninjas? That's okay, though. We're going to continue. Maybe if we fail this one relatively quickly, I'll jump into the game at floor 150, and we'll try to take out the final boss, which has not worked out very well for me so far, to say the least. I haven't been able to defeat the final boss. I've been able to get to him like 4 or 5 times, but haven't really been able to make anything good happen as a result. Now, I'm not sure what kind of replay value exists after defeating that final boss, but this... Oh my god, I'm still getting used to the whip here. This all being said, I'm not sure it really matters, because at $5, this game easily has enough entertainment to provide like an afternoon's worth of fun, at the very least. Especially if you're as bad at video games as I am. I don't trust these vines. Let's do a spinning attack down here, just so we can kind of make our way through like that. By crouching, you can adjust the angle of your attack a little bit. Not like the angle of your attack, like you can choose which way the whip goes, but you can choose to do a lower attack, which can hit enemies that are a level below you. God damn, those enemies are a pain in the ass. There's 2 enemies coming up that are serious pains in the ass. One of them, oh, that was the worst. One of them is a statue that just shoots a big yellow sun at you, basically. And the other one is me being my owner standing. The other one is... By the way, I love that announcer. I feel like I have ADHD as I'm making these videos and constantly commenting on different things that I mean to. But the other one is just a random, like, mage dude who appears out of the ether and is a total pain in the dick. How did that kill me? I just touched the pot! This is terrible. But at least I did kill the, Oh, yeah, this is a ghost explaining how I died. I did kill the champion there. I didn't get what he had for me, but... Now, we can do damage to the boss. I just want to see how these tornadoes work. There's no incentive not to do damage to a boss, because actually, we will get... Or we're going to jump in exactly where we left off. So essentially, he's already going to be down 1 health. So I think that's what we want to do there. I don't know how we're going to do this in the long run. So I think instead I might just brute force my way through. Wow, that actually worked. Starting to feel like I actually know what I'm doing to this game to a certain extent. We should win here. Oh, he's dead. Wow, the wind did a ton of damage. Anyway, we're going to pick up all this stuff and then move on. So this is going to be floor 150 down to 0, which is probably going to be floor 150 down to 110, because I don't expect that I'm going to survive too long. Those swamps are pretty annoying. Just hoping for some projectiles there. Keep an eye out for enemies that rear up out of the ground. That is good advice. That happens a lot in this game. So let's just make our way down. There is no fall damage unless you land on spikes. I'm not sure what was up with that parachute there. That's the first time I've ever seen that. What I was saying earlier is that even though the game is... oh, come on. There we go. Well, we didn't get anything for it anyway. Even though the game is randomly generated, supposedly, there are elements that are reoccurring. Like, I've seen... Oh, are you kidding me? The same kind of structures over and over and over. So I think it's actually more like... Maybe the enemies are randomly generated, but in terms of the physical structure of the level, I think there's like a pool that the game draws from. Apologies for my stuffed up voice, by the way. Still overcoming the sickness, but at least I can actually speak for once. So let me just think about things here. We have plenty of time. When you first get started, before you get upgrades, these timing limits are going to be what causes you most of your problems. Oh, I only have 1 hit left. Yeah, like in all seriousness, most of the time that I died was due to the timer. Until I managed to get some upgrades that made things a little bit easier on me. Now, all of the time that I die, it's due to enemies. Which is refreshing. Who wants to die to a timer, man? That's the most dissatisfying way you could possibly die. You know what? I'm just gonna use the wind here. Hopefully this will kill these guys. It did indeed. Oh, but I walked into the hedgehog quills. That was very silly of me. In any case, let's back out here. There's not too much more to show with respect to Super House of the Dead Ninjas, so I don't really feel like the Let's Look At there's too much value in going on much further. Those were 2 surprisingly good runs, though. We can go back to the lodge. We've unlocked some new things. What have we unlocked this time? Other is also usually just like collectibles or consumables. Oh, parachute. Okay. So activates automatically to slow a fall if it is more than 1 floor. Interesting. That's good because it can maybe give you a little bit more tolerance time to avoid falling on spikes. But in any case, I'm gonna go back to the main menu. That's basically all there is to see with Super House of the Dead Ninjas, but in spite of the fact that it's a little bit shallow... Oh, there are custom levels as well. Level editor, etc., etc. Yeah, in spite of the fact that it's a little bit shallow, I think this is a really good game. I think it's priced right at $5, although, you know, maybe you want to check out the free version first and see if it tickles your fancy. But in any case, yeah, definite thumbs up for me. I enjoyed this game a lot. Wouldn't be surprised to see more of it in the future on the channel, but for now, be content with the Let's Look At as I am content with the game. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.